Imagine for a moment a tiny chemical factory. It operates in total darkness, very deep within your brain. Most of the time, it's busy with boring stuff, breathing, digesting lunch, or worrying about an email you sent 3 years ago. But then, something happens. A spark. Suddenly, the factory goes into overdrive. It pumps out a cocktail of neurochemicals so powerful they can rewrite your priorities in seconds. We often think of sex as just a biological urge, a messy, slightly awkward necessity for making more humans. But actually, sex is one of the most sophisticated communication systems ever evolved. It turns out, good sex isn't just about pleasure. It's a survival mechanism, a biological glue, and a window into the very core of our consciousness. In reality, sex is a high-stakes dialogue between our ancient primate past and our complex modern selves. And if we want to understand why it matters so much, we need to zoom out, past the bedroom, past the social taboos, and into the very machinery of life itself. To understand why sex feels the way it does, we have to go back in time, a very long time ago, before cities, before agriculture, even before we learned to walk on two legs. For billions of years, life was simple. You were just a single cell, you ate some soup, then you divided in half. Done. Cloning. Efficient. But the problem was, cloning was dangerous. If a virus learned how to kill you, it also learned how to kill all your offspring. Evolution encountered an obstacle, so life took a big gamble. Sex. Instead of copying yourself, you would take half of your blueprint and combine it with someone else's. This created diversity. It created a biological lottery where each child was a unique experiment. But this gamble came at a price. Finding a mate was difficult, very risky. You could be eaten by a leopard or ostracized by your tribe. To compensate for this risky behavior, evolution had to create a reward so powerful that creatures would do almost anything to obtain it. Essentially, your brain is being controlled by genes. They want to survive, and they've decided that the best way to secure their future is to make sex the most important thing in the world.
Let's zoom in, deep into the nervous system. When we experience good sex, we aren't just feeling one thing. We are listening to a symphony. First, the percussion, dopamine. This is the chemical of anticipation. It's the driving force that says, yes, this is a good idea. Do more of this. Then, the strings, oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone. This is the biological glue. In mammals, oxytocin is responsible for trust and bonding. It's what turns a fleeting physical encounter into a lasting connection. And finally, the brass section, endorphins. These are our body's natural painkillers. They flood the system, creating a sense of euphoria and relaxation. This is where things get interesting. Studies show that a healthy sexual life can actually lower cortisol, the stress hormone. In a world where our fight or flight response is triggered by traffic jams and social media notifications, good sex acts as a biological reset button. It tells your nervous system, you are safe, you are connected, you are okay. Imagine a small tribe of early humans 50,000 years ago. Life is terrifying. There are mammoths, freezing winters, and rival tribes. In this environment, a group that stays together survives together. But humans are temperamental. We argue, we compete. How do you keep a group of aggressive, clever apes from tearing each other apart? It turns out, intimacy plays a massive role. Sex isn't just for reproduction. If it were, humans would only be interested in it a few days a month. Instead, we are one of the few species that engages in sex year-round. In reality, sex serves as a social stabilizer. When partners experience good sex, meaning sex that involves mutual pleasure, respect, and connection, it reinforces the pair bond. High-quality intimacy builds a bank account of goodwill. When life gets hard, when the hunting is bad or the cave is leaking, that shared history of pleasure acts as a buffer. But why good sex? Why isn't okay sex enough? This is where we move from the biological to the psychological. Humans are the only animals that have meaning attached to their physical acts. Imagine a thought experiment. You have two scenarios: a perfectly simulated physical experience with a cold, unresponsive robot, or a slightly clumsy, imperfect experience with someone you truly trust and who truly sees you. Almost everyone picks the second. Why? Because for humans, the brain is the largest sexual organ. What's really happening is a process called intersubjectivity. During good sex, the boundaries between me and you start to blur. It is one of the few times in adult life where we can truly drop our guard. We stop performing. We stop pretending. When sex is bad, when it's cold, disconnected, or transactional, it can actually increase feelings of loneliness. It reminds us of the gap between us and the other person. But hinattot, it bridges that gap. It's a form of play, and play is how mammals learn, bond, and heal.
But here's the thing. While we talk about sex in terms of romance or psychology, we shouldn't forget that we are, at the end of the day, biological machines. And like any machine, our systems perform better when all the parts are moving. In reality, the physical benefits of a healthy sexual life are surprisingly broad. When we engage in good sex, our heart rate increases, our blood flow improves, and we get a workout that doesn't involve a gym membership. For our hearts, this is excellent news. Regular intimacy is linked to a lower risk of cardiovascular issues. It's like a gentle calibration for your circulatory system. Let's zoom in on the immune system. It turns out people with a steady, positive sexual life often show higher levels of immunoglobulin A, the first line of defense against the common cold and flu. By seeking out connection, we are literally strengthening our shields against the microscopic world. This is where things get complicated. If we view these benefits as tasks to complete, the magic disappears. You can't biohack your way into a meaningful connection by treating your partner like a treadmill. The health benefits are a byproduct of the joy, not the goal itself. When we prioritize the experience, the biology takes care of itself.
As we look at the grand scale of human history, we are faced with a new challenge: the search for meaning. Imagine for a moment the sheer loneliness of the human condition. We are each trapped inside a skull, experiencing the world through a private filter of thoughts and memories. No one can ever truly know what it feels like to be you. What's really happening is that good sex provides a temporary escape from that prison. In a world where our attention is fragmented by 1,000 notifications, intimacy demands that we be here, right now. It is a form of meditation. By connecting deeply with another person, we ground ourselves in the physical reality of being alive. It reminds us that despite our technology, we are still part of the natural world. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. It is full of black holes, cold voids, and exploding stars. On a cosmic scale, a human life is a blink of an eye, and yet in that tiny flash, we have the capacity to feel something profound. Good sex is a bridge. It's a bridge between our animal past and our conscious future. It's a bridge between two lonely souls trying to make sense of a complicated world. It turns out, being a messy biological machine is actually a wonderful thing. We aren't just here to survive, we are here to experience. The AI might try to simulate it, and the apps might try to commodify it, but the prize remains uniquely ours: a brief, beautiful connection on a small blue planet. And as long as we keep choosing each other, the spark that started billions of years ago will keep burning bright.